We are continuing AI Journey conference, and right now we're going to experience an exciting seminar for those who want to develop the state-of-the-art technologies and immerse themselves in AI. And together with Michael, Misha, he's the 7th grade school student. We will talk about how ML works and what is data scientist's profession. And we'll use the self-driving car to know which stages of the creation of algorithms of AI there are.
Приветствую всех. Меня зовут Миша. Это мой дедушка.
Hi everyone, my name is Misha and this is my granddad. Hi everyone. I think you know that large-scale intelligence on artificial intelligence and data science AI journey is going live now. And if you have connected to us, I think you're interested to know the life hacks in this area. You know, I would really like to know what happens on the other side of the technology. So how does that work? You know why AI is cool for me? Because it is really fun. We made a challenge in TikTok with my friends, and you cannot only change the background there, but you can synchronize the images with the song and many other cool things you can do there. You know, it's really fantastic. AI of TikTok does fantastic things. It analyzes the interests, and it not only shows the interests of my friends on Instagram, but very interesting bloggers too. I discovered a lot of great things, you know. Yeah. I got some news. Yeah, I understand about that news. The state exam results are going to be assessed by a neural network. No, not really. Tesla, auto giant, developed a self-driving car in 2014. The engineers looked at this from a totally different perspective. They used all the cameras, 360 degrees cameras, and all the other things. Looks fantastic, looks like a sci-fi movie, but that's really great. Let's look at shock content. The smart Tesla with a self-driving Tesla stands near the supermarket and doesn't want to go anywhere else. And why, actually? Well, you know, for that, you have to explain to our participants why they have made the right choice by connecting to our MC. Well, as far as I understand, together we can go to some journey, you know, from being total dummies in high tech, and we will become beginner data scientists. Yeah, absolutely. Together with the other guys who connected to the conference, we're going to know what is to learn what is artificial intelligence. Well, you know, I'm ready for that, but it is a kind of a weird topic, you know, controversial one, I would say. You know, the first movies with the machines and artificial intelligence technologies, so these movies were quite threatening. They did impress us, but they posed a threat for us, you know. This movie, Matrix. It was a fantastic movie, a very popular one. Obviously, now many things have changed, you know, the perception and other things, but yet there are... you still have this atmosphere. Yes, of course, everything has changed because we now face a huge flow of information that mentions AI. And you have noticed, too, that the movie production process have changed, too. If you look Valley, this is the kindness in itself, or take an idea that, you know, some AI is helping and saving the world every day. Why do we need this technology? Why it permeates in all the spheres of our life? Well, the questions are there, but what are the answers? You know, people, they don't understand something. They kind of give something, a magical attribute, you know, if they don't understand it. But we are here to understand that AI is not magical, but it's not a threat. At least we have to understand that. Yes, absolutely. In just 1 hour, I will give you the instructions on how do you make the first steps in AI professions, I think that you should absolutely join. Are you ready for the challenge? Yep, ready for the challenge. Okay, let's start then. You know what question we teenagers are asked? Yes. What are you going to do if you don't have a smartphone with you? Yeah, what job would I like to do? What profession I would like to select? I understand that you should not follow trends. Just a simple question. Do I want to live when I'm 30, 40, or 60 years? What do I want to do? What is important for you, me? These are the questions that I think it is important to answer. Start answering right now. And if you are here, that means that you would make the first steps in in learning the basics of AI, because we don't only want to look at the technological breakthroughs, but actually make them. This sounds absolutely great, but what do you actually want to do? Well, we can just look at the window. For instance, a smart urban transport systems that helps to manage the traffic, respond to emergency situations, and ensures security and safety. You know what? Maybe we should start working on AI. What is AI? Let's ask this question to the AI itself. Hello, Joy. Hello, you are my favorite user. I'm listening to you. What is AI? AI is the attribute of the intellectual systems to do the creative functions that traditionally been a prerogative of people. The science of the artificial intelligence is the science of creation, the smart devices. Are you artificial intelligence? Well, Athena knows everything, but I have many other good attributes. Anyway, AI is around us everywhere. What tasks do we resolve with AI? We meet outside, in the transport, in the shopping malls, in the school, even home. The cruise control in the car, the navigators, the smart buses, and even the self-driving Tesla cars. All these are the showcases of AI. And to understand what is the difference between them, how they work, you have to start with the fact that AI is usually categorized in two big groups. The specialized AI, the weak AI, so to speak, is to resolve concrete specific tasks, and the strong AI, the AGI, artificial general intelligence, that should be better in than be humans everywhere. Oh, this is the story that started with Alan Turing. He was really committed to his test, the Turing test. What is this test? Well, this is when the experimenter talks with a human, converses with a human and the computer. The reason, the outcome of the test is to show who is the AI, who is the human. The task of the AI is to pretend to be human. Yep, so the scientists decided not to set some principles, but decided to look at the streams like machine translation, chatbots, image recognition, and other things. These are the major streams that, okay, we have the tasks then. How do you resolve them? And this is where the expert systems got into play. Okay, so they got many experts, and asked them how to act in millions of different situations. Then they put all this data flow in the memory of the computer. Well, the experts are the knowledge bearers. You have to take their knowledge to interpret it into the machine-readable form, and it's easy. The easiest way is to, if you use it if-then attributes there. But the number of tasks was growing quicker and quicker, which meant that the expert systems would not work. The mathematicians saved the day, so as not to spend the time and money for all that. Machines had to enter the algorithms by themselves. This is absolutely genius. What machines need to build algorithms? Well, they first of all need data. Data sets is the fuel for the AI systems. Data have to be fed to the machine, and you have to make the machine to learn the rules hidden in these data. Yeah, okay, this is what is needed by machine learning. Yes, you got the gist of it.
But why limit yourself with rules? We can find all kinds of patterns. Machine learning truly became the most important step in AI development. You know, I'm starting to think that everything now is in a computer. Everything. When I was a small kid, like you are, I loved those clockwork toys. I really liked to disassemble them, to look what's inside. What if we disassemble artificial intelligence to see what's inside? Okay, closer to the point. What does artificial intelligence need? Well, data. Exactly. Machine learning needs data, but not just some data, any data. It needs data about objects. Objects is information that is provided as input for the algorithm, and the answer is the output of the algorithm, something that it should be able to predict. Can you give an example? Sure. Your favorite game is chess, right? The previous approach was with chess and AI, and in chess, how do they train AI? People would feed different kinds of moves into AI. Then, since it didn't work, they collected a lot of data about possible movements and data about who won with which style of playing. That was fed into the algorithm. And the algorithm, when it saw the situation on the board, it was able to predict which kinds of movements would lead to victory. So now we have an algorithm that knows the shortest way to victory. Okay, AI is the best at chess. That's great, that's impressive, but what about larger scale tasks? Over the last years, researchers have been focusing more and more on everyday tasks. Search system for recognizing faces, for analyzing texts and identifying spam, and also recognizing images and processing images. It's really useful. A few years ago, it was funny how artificial intelligence couldn't see if it's a cat or a dog and a muffin. Yes, that's funny. Only after the breakthrough in 2015, the quality improvement in technology, can our neural networks now identify not just human faces, but also faces of cats. Now, two cats will certainly not have to fight for food. Technology did open up a lot of opportunities. Self-driving vehicles. Several dozens of years ago, it was sci-fi. Now, we can go outside and observe a self-driving car park. Grandpa, how about applying artificial intelligence to create a sci-fi scenario, a sci-fi situation? I don't quite follow. You will see. The drive, the enthusiasm stems from what we have at hand. Our ability to build all kinds of models, train them, and select the best one. Because the real world is full of difficult and intricate interconnections where artificial intelligence could be useful. From text analysis to self-driving vehicles, let's go through all the steps to create an AI algorithm based on the example of a self-driving car and learn more about the interesting profession of a data scientist. What do you say? Sounds interesting. Look, now we can try our hand at being a data scientist, creating an algorithm for a self-driving car, and participate in a game trainer from the AI Academy. What kind of a trainer is this? Every level is very similar to what data scientists actually have to deal with. My friend Smin is going to connect and help us. Okay, call her. And I, meanwhile, will try to figure out what exactly we're trying to do. Okay, it says that together with the main characters, we're supposed to work on creating an algorithm for a self-driving car. We will also try solving data science problems to have our car recognize different objects in the environment and drive itself around the city just as safely as it would with a human driver. Hi there. I know how fond you are of hype IT developments, so why don't you join us with the self-driving trainer? Thank you, Misha. I really like technological solutions, especially in computer vision, face recognition, medical images. It's everywhere. But in my opinion, what really brings us closer to the future is self-driving cars. So, ahead to the future. Okay, we have 3 friends, just like we are. They find themselves in a lab that works on self-driving cars. And this girl is explaining what they should do. This is Petunia. She always participates in these lessons. She's the strictest one. Okay, let's begin. For the artificial intelligence algorithm to identify different events on the road, you need to train it. This stage is called data collector. Data collectors filter out noise. We need to select the right image so that the algorithm was using correct data, correct images as a training set, and so that it made fewer mistakes on the road. We can also earn points of achievement, achievement cards, if we complete tasks correctly in different professions: data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, etc. Why don't you first select the right images of the bicycles? Does it remind you anything? Is it like capture? Toy truck is not transport, right? Traffic signs, simple. Pedestrians. So many pedestrians. Is that Shanghai? Traffic lights, bridges. Make sure I don't miss anything. Yeah, we do. Street signs. More street signs. I think we had this one. No, it's different. The passing for pedestrians, street signs. Yes, that one was repeated. Okay. 3 stars out of 3, that was easy. Next step, markup or classification of data. That sounds difficult. We need to identify elements of the environment for the self-driving car. We need to mark up data correctly and clearly for the car to make the right decision when it's driving itself, to slow down or to accelerate. You remember Tesla? At which point do you think something went wrong? A self-driving car needs to identify pedestrians, cars, street signs, and other objects. And you need to specify those objects in photos. The algorithm will learn to identify them and will learn to self-drive. Let's apply the square. I can see the bicycles. What about cars? You need to be more precise with the frame. Apply. I can see one. Capture. Another object. Bicycle. A street sign. That seems to be it. What about you, Grandpa? Want to try? Sure. Okay, this one requires attention.
Не отвлекайся от основной
Which country is this?
Франция, если судить по флагу.
You're distracted. Well, judging by the flag, it's France. Okay, two pedestrians over there. I see the car, the bikes, the street sign. I don't see any. There's one, the blocking sign.
Четвертая фотка на очереди. И тут у нас
Fourth image,
пешеход раз, пешеход
one pedestrian,
вон там в кустах.
another pedestrian.
Вдалеке машина.
There's a minivan
Ой, как раньше
and
попадает.
another car in the
Ты поэтому
distance.
знаешь,
The
что
bicycle is
такие
different.
бывают.
This is the first time we see this kind.
Появляется. Интересно. Пятая
I
категория.
think our car should be able to identify those two.
Строение.
Okay, another picture, two bikes.
Как тут алгоритм разберется?
I wonder how the algorithm will do with this one.
Дорожный знак и оп. Задание пройдено.
And
Супер.
we've completed the task.
В смысле,
Great.
смысле, не очень точно.
Wait, it was not
Но
totally
ничего,
precise,
надо будет
just one
доработать.
star.
Вот мы
Okay.
получили обычную модель алгоритма.
We'll enhance that.
Саму модель мы
Now we have a model and an algorithm.
но, по
We can't
сути,
see the
это
model
код
yet,
на основе математических
but
расчетов,
basically it's a
который
code based on
составлен
mathematical
алгоритм,
calculations that the
опираясь на
computer
полученные
developed for us
данные.
based on the data
Мы
that we
выполнили
put
роль
in.
учителя для машины. И теперь наша
We
обычная модель может
Trained
получить
our
изображение
car,
с камеры,
our
определить,
model.
что
Now the
именно есть на
model
фото,
can
в каком направлении двигается
collect
объект.
information from cameras and identify the objects and in which direction they're going. But our model doesn't know what is a pedestrian or a street sign. However, after the training, the autopilot can identify those objects in camera images.
Профессия аналитик данных.
Okay, the profession is data analyst. Our third task. The car should be able to constantly predict where pedestrians and cars are going, study these events, and help the algorithm to predict in which direction these participants of the traffic situation are going.
Что если наша машина
We now need
движется
to
быстро, ей придется заранее
add
принимать
more
решение
data.
о том, когда
Yes,
совершать
if we
движение,
want our car to move
объезжать
fast,
препятствия,
it needs to be able to make fast decisions when it should slow down, when to accelerate,
жителям города.
so as not to be a nuisance for
Куда поедет
other
велосипедист? Ну, по зебре.
members
Ну,
of
как нельзя,
of traffic.
траектория Б.
Okay, we have a crosswalk here,
Б,
so it's B.
открыто, навстречку, наверное,
What about here?
едет. Значит, А.
It's probably a car moving along a bicycle path. No, it can turn here. Let's select A.
Я бы, наверное, свернула бы в
On
направлении
second thought, I think it should probably be C.
собирается повернуть. Значит, А.
The car is about to turn left, so it's A. Here it's not signaling that it's about to turn. It's probably B.
О, тут авария. По
This
встречке
looks like a
нельзя.
traffic
Ладно,
accident.
боже, надо разворачиваться. А. Тут
You'll have to make a
пешеходный
U-turn. This is the pedestrian. They can easily just cross the road there to meet their friend.
сознательный пешеход.
Let's select
Безопасный
B,
маршрут.
because it's a responsible pedestrian. They only cross the roads when there's a crosswalk. Okay, 2 stars. Good job. Moving on. We have unlocked another profession, data scientist.
Чтобы наша машина смогла
Sounds
правильно
very scientific.
в городе, ей нужно
For our
постоянно
car to be able to
решение
move
о
around the
том,
city
какие
correctly, it should be
источники
constantly
датчиков
making
сигналов
decisions
важны
on
для принятия
which
решения,
signals
какие
received
играют
from its
большую роль
sensors
в
and
текущей
cameras are
ситуации.
important and
Например,
which are
если идет
irrelevant.
ремонт дороги,
For example,
автомобилю следует
if
притормозить, даже
there are
если
repairs on the road,
знак
the
перед
car should
скоростью
slow down,
осталась прежней.
even if there is no sign about the limitation of speed. Okay, now we need to bring our car to the city roads where there are a lot of pedestrians and other cars and bicycles, etc. We need to have a system of priorities. Let's train our
Надо
insensitive
расположить
algorithm.
приоритета. Ехать
What's
быстрее,
wrong
когда
and what's
пассажир
right.
опаздывает. Ехать медленнее из-за дождя. Объехать
Possible
пешехода.
events. Go around the pedestrian, slow down because of rain, accelerate when the passenger is running late. First is the most important one. Well, out of this list, I think the top priority is to make sure you don't violate traffic rules. Do you violate those rules? No, of course not. How could you think that? Going around the pedestrian, that's important. Okay, next task. So many events. I don't really know what to choose. Well, rules are important. Responding to an accident is important too. We did a great job. We're good at data science. A new profession, senior data scientist. I feel very proud. Now we're about to run a demo. This is where you will see all the flaws in training. What do you think? Will we have any flaws? I hope it will run smoothly, but frankly, I'm a bit worried. Okay, there we go. The rules. No violation of the rules. No, it accelerated too much. It exceeded the speed limit. But it sees the pedestrians, though. What about the parking? Oh, shoot. It's okay. When I was studying myself, that was tough for me too. The parking one. Well, still, a good enough job. 2 stars out of 3. Not everything is lost. We have our 5th task. The algorithm configuration will impact the accuracy of decision-making. And if the algorithm is too slow, but accurate, the car will not be able to move fast enough. But if the algorithm is fast but inaccurate, then the car will not be able to identify objects in time. It will make errors, which could lead to a traffic accident. In real life, these machine learning problems can be solved with neural network algorithms. Let's see how well trained is our self-driving car. Let's run a test. On the city streets, we can increase the size of objects, increase the sensitivity, which could slow down work, and also the number of iterations. Look at how it affects our speed. Well, the algorithm looks stable. We can start our demonstration in the city. And go. So far, so good. No, it should have yielded. It's still successful. It's so interesting. Training machines. This is the result. Just the markup of data was a bit behind. The rest is good. What do you think about it? I'm frankly very impressed. It really feels like you're getting immersed into this interesting process. What about you? I enjoyed it a lot. Thanks for connecting. Bye. In all honesty, it can't be that simple, can it? To become a specialist in machine learning, you have to know maths and programming, right? That's correct. So let's not slow down our immersion and get our hands on coding. We're going to code in the most popular language, the Python language. Okay, Python it is then. It's hard to say where Python is not used. It's used with web applications and self-driving cars. Now I know that artificial intelligence is not magic, but it's a well-trained mathematical model with a good training set. Creating a program for different systems is not that complicated, it's not impossible. I will tell you about a number of rules that will protect you from mistakes. The Python is sensitive to register. Big A and small a are different. Then there are also margins in code. There are spaces in code which could affect your algorithm. Don't be afraid of error mistakes. This is the computer's way to tell you what is unclear in the code for it. It's not criticism.
Well, that sounds great. I mean, anyone can remember that, but I don't quite understand where do you actually write this code? Well, I have a life hack. You can go to Sberclass to resolve problems with the Python trainer. You know what things start with? You need to connect the right libraries. Wait a second, these are the libraries you have to connect? Well, in a way, you can take a book, like in the library, you can take a book and get many things there. The same with the libraries in the programming language. These are the models of the code that you can use in our software. One of the first libraries we're going to use is pandas. Pandas, what pandas have to do with that? Nothing, actually. Pandas is the abbreviation, panel data. So these are the multi-layer structured sets of information. And the library has something that we need to view and analyze data with which we're going to work. Do you remember Timur, by the way? I don't think he'll be against resolving problems with us. Timur has started to learn Python just recently, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to stream the real coding together. Hi, Timur. Hi, Misha. So, Timur, people say you code now. Are you ready to resolve some ML problems? Yeah, easy to do. Let's go. So, if Python libraries were in like real life, there would be some models with the shelves, bookshelves that you can take and use in your code. Developers try to save their time and energy to write their own code. Why? Because you can take the pre-recorded and tested code. The real data scientist cannot ignore the libraries. Pandas library is okay to make Python a good tool for data analysis, for data scientists. For data science. So our topic is machine learning. How do you learn a self-driving car to see? Well, we know pandas. Now, Seaborn needs this is something that developers need. The libraries that are not implemented in Python should be imported. So we write import pandas spt. The function displays the information. Now we want to know which type, which version of the library is used. So that's easy. Well, yeah, seems like that. What is the second task? There's an error, but with another, it seems the same. But it says that there should be the library is different. Let's decapitalize all the characters. Yep, now it worked. You remember I told you that it's register sensitive. So we remember that data are fuel for the machine learning. Where do we take them? So we now collect the data. We're now at the stage of collecting the data, but we can use data sets. Actually, internet has loads of data sets for ML, like Oxford robotic car. It has more than hundreds of repetitions of the routes of driving around Oxford, depending on the season. And there are many other things, and road sign information and other things. And what if we need to detect the pedestrians or the cars on the image? Do we need a data set with the image? Or, I mean, it is highlighted with the squares. That's how we did it on the previous, in the previous task. What is the task? ML, how do you represent the collected data that can be understood by the self-driving car? Kaggle platform has the data sets for basically all tasks for data science and ML experts. So this might be useful for the self-driving car. New York, for instance, on the main bridges of New York, they calculate the number of cyclists. The Department of Transportation of New York every day collects data about the cyclists who go through the bridges. These data are used to consider and factor in the cyclists during transport planning. it's divided by day, and there is an information about the precipitations and the temperature. We take a radio file. In the table, everything is set. To create a frame from CSV file, we use pdread CSV function. What is data frame, by the way? Data frame is basically a table. Within the table, there are lines and tables. So we should import pandas. We download the needed file in data frame. Now we need to read it. For that, we need a function called pdread CSV. This is how our table looks like. Look, what tables do we have? This is the precipitations, the day, temperature, the data about every breach. That looks really great. Wait a second, I want to read that. Yeah, you read it all? Let's go forward then. Wait a sec. Why is it important when you work with data? Why is it important to clean the data, filter the data, whatever the field you use the data for? And there is a common rule: bad data almost always leads to wrong decisions. Data scientists always think about that. Garbage in, garbage out. Absolutely. When you prepare the needed images to train a self-driving car, the data collectors filter the garbage, the superfluous images that might break the work of the algorithm. You remember, we just, in the training kit, we were saving the images to make sure that the algorithm navigates through all that. Then, machine learning. How do you actually clean the data for self-driving car? Well, for that, I'll try to change the value for one of the tables. So we have the data about the cyclists who go through Brooklyn Bridge. Now, all the values have to be 0. So we do the same stuff. We download the library. Now we need to change the value in one of the tables and put 0. So I would close the Brooklyn Bridge in New York then? Yeah, well, in a way. So in our line, we have the entire table, but we want to look only for the data only for the Brooklyn Bridge. So R has all the data, but how can you refer to one column? Well, we use the square to understand what bridge we need. Well, I thought you could just remove the rows without data, just remove them from the analysis. But that means that we might lose the information. Or we can replace all the missing values with the average value. Yes, we can train with the other exercise. We should put an average value from the from the column. Well, we import the library, we download the file, and then let's use min method that will calculate everything for us. In T variable, we have df, total mean. df is our table, total is our column, and mean is the libraries, and they calculate the average value by itself. Data scientist is an expert in data science who has the technical skills to resolve complicated tasks and has the curiosity to set these tasks, to refresh and enrich the data set for the training for the self-driving car. We need to understand what the priorities that this car has to take. So we made the analysis in terms of understanding the importance of some of the situations on the roads, but there's a way they actually try to understand which priorities should be set. So to understand how weather conditions influence the traffic, let's look at the average number of cyclists who go through the Manhattan Bridge when the precipitations are higher than the average. Well, that's quite a task. Well, not really, just a few lines of code. But sometimes you have to take data based on some conditions. With that, we go to our data frame. We put some conditions in the brackets. We can look at the lines where the precipitation is more than 0.10. But our condition is higher than the average. So what do? We have to understand what is this higher than the average. No, you don't need to do that. You can put that in the condition actually using the min function. In the R variable, we have to put only those lines of our table that have the precipitation of value, where this value has than the average, and the average has already been calculated by mean method. As you can see, it is right in the conditions, yes, but the results will be all of the lines that we need, and we need the information about the traffic of the cyclists going through the Manhattan Bridge. Well, the idea here is that you can change the selection, the conditions for the selection. So we have several conditions here. Now we need to calculate the average for another condition. Look, it's very user-friendly, very easy. You just put the dot, and then we need the name of the column, then another dot, and then you have mean method, which we already know about. That is great. I mean, just a few lines of code, and you have all these calculations. Yeah, that's great. That's what we need to do. So, Timur, thanks a lot for joining. Yeah, it was my pleasure. Right, so are we ML experts now? I think this is totally fantastic. We can understand now why the ML experts have these high salaries, you know. And you know, the most important thing here is that you have to want to learn some new things all the time, because this is artificial intelligence, you know, it grows all the time, it evolves all the time. Team is needed too, because high-tech products is, of course, a result of collective work, of joint efforts. Grandpa, we just made first successful steps in mastering AI profession. Have I hold the promise? Absolutely. We are heroes, I think. I hope that all the participants were able to feel like they're the beginning data scientists when we tried to train the self-driver's car. You promised another thing, by the way. Haven't you forgot about that? Yes. Why Tesla stops near Coop supermarket? Okay, well, now it all makes sense. It sees red and it stops. Yes, but look where. Yes. Okay. So he decided that this flag is a traffic light. Yeah, they fooled Tesla. Fooled Tesla. Yeah, but we know that this testifies to the fact that computer vision works. Well, you see by yourself that the AI evolves. You should evolve too. What are your next steps? These are the links. And to resolve the most difficult problems, like putting spacecrafts to space, launch self-driving cars on the roads, or save people from the diseases, we need superheroes. And we are those superheroes. We are the creators of our destiny and the future of the world.